Hello and welcome back to that Eurovision site, Eurovision with a slice of life. I am Kittens and I am here with Daniel. Say hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
And we are here to talk about Melodifestivalen 2025. Okay, so Melodifestivalen 2025 starts this week. We have a bundle of brand new artists, and well, quite a lot of returners. We haven't heard songs yet because songs aren't coming out until later this week. For the first time in forever, we're gonna get songs before the shows. And yeah, so we will start off with going to Lulea this week, and making our way through Sweden, um, through towards the final in Stockholm in early March. Firstly, Daniel, what do you think of overall? Like they've made some changes and stuff this year. What are you thinking of the changes that they've made to how Melody Festival works?
Okay, firstly, Vic was yesterday, so I don't get how Melfest is this week.
Yeah, I agree. Melody
But
Festival and starting always feels like the start of something big, right?
there are certainly changes they should have made that they haven't made, but I feel like you will talk about that for quite a bit.
I feel like I should not
Uh,
talk about that. But go on.
I don't think the changes are as drastic as they're going to be made out to be because even in years gone by, we had snippets which mo most of the time gave a pretty good idea of what the song was going to be like. Like everyone knew Loreen was winning Eurovision based on that snippet.
I feel like the
So
difference is going to be for the artists. They
yeah,
are going to, expect the top 50 Sweden on Spotify to be absolutely screwed for the next 6 weeks. That is what I am
yeah.
expecting. Because those six artists from each week are just going to get that boost and they are going to be getting those streaming numbers from the start, which I think that's just a great thing to happen.
See, streams being delayed didn't really affect me last year because not no ones I really liked got to the final anyway, so they got to be released after they got knocked out. But
Yeah, you,
but in years gone by, where my favorites have made the final, I've had to resort to like really dodgy like YouTube to MP4 things to actually listen to the song. And for something as modern as Mellow, that's really silly.
it yeah, it has always felt like a really backwards thing to have for this contest.
Because
I'm
they definitely know that people like me were doing that.
Yeah, they definitely know. They
Because
know that it was
they
happening.
because those re-uploads had thousands of views.
And I just don't think I mean, I don't think that it was a logical I understand what they were saying, but I just don't all you're doing is denying the artists to profit from their own work, which seems just like a silly thing to be in. For the first, 5 weeks of the competition, effectively, they can't profit from their own work, which is
Yeah.
bizarre. So at least this way, everybody has a good chance to get those streams from official sources rather than resorting to something dodgy.
Yeah.
I mean, you alluded to it, but I am disappointed that we still have Finalkval.
It's different somehow though, right?
It is different. They are not totting up the points in the same way that they were doing last time. But equally, I need to lay my cards on the table here and say that I'm generally not a fan of wildcard rounds. I think they don't do what the producers think they're doing. And I would much rather have just direct qualifiers and there be more direct qualifiers, and not have artists being, h- dangle this carrot of, well, you might get through, has always felt very unfair to me. And last year, seeing all the artists, waiting and then for it to be the most inevitable result, which was it's the songs we've just heard, um, was really disappointing. It felt to me personally like a stab in the back. I don't know how it felt for those artists, but for them to schlep all the way to, I think it was like Karlstad or somewhere, lost the plot off the top of my head, and then just sit there in a room and then be told they hadn't got through felt incredibly bizarre to me.
Yeah.
Um, I hope that the wildcard round, the finale has something more to it this year and does make it more fair. Because, I mean, it may have been that, whatever happened, those two artists, Jay Smith and Annika Wickeholder, and, Jay Smith has been in the like, it's been in the charts, been in like the radio airplay charts in Sweden, like really high up there for months and months and months. So clearly there is, something in that. But equally, I just there is something so disappointing about
But
Finagval.
if we're going off charts, the Devil Woman should have got to the final.
The Devil Woman.
Yeah, Frock and Snusk.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, like sure. Um,
It felt weird that she didn't in a way
it did feel really weird that she
because
she didn't.
I think obviously in a just world she would not be a musician at all, but in a slightly just world she'd
I
have been in
think
the
that's
final.
harsh. Come on. I quite like Fröken. I don't like necessarily like everything that she produces, everything that goes out there, but I like her as a person. I think she is very fun. Um, and I think she gets a lot of hate that she doesn't really deserve for just going out and hustling and doing what she's doing. But it did feel weird to find that frickin' Snusk did not go through.
Yeah.
But I fear we are talking about last year a bit too much. Um, I feel we should maybe talk about this year. So maybe we should talk about the artists for this year. Is there people you are excited to see, notable people, etc., in who you are excited to see back, or newcomers?
Uh, what I am quite excited for is just because this is not a combination of people I was at all expecting. It's Albin Johnson and Pa because I know Albin Johnson from writing Lovad songs. Why is the guy who writes my sad girl music collabing with the guy from Panetoz?
Yes.
I want to see that.
Yeah. I, it
That's gonna
looks
be.
really exciting.
When I was watching the announcement show and I heard Albin Johnson featuring, you could have given me 100 guesses. I wouldn't have gone there. Mad. Um, in terms of returning artists, Clara Hammerstrom always because I think she's every time she's been in it, she's brought something new, and she's not just doing the same song over and over again. She's not just going on and on and on, per se. Uh,
And she's implied that this was her last Mello.
yeah,
She's in our interview, let's plug the content. In our interview, which Tim did with Clara Hammerstrom, she implied that this might be her last Mello. So I'm
they
hoping
all
she's
say
got
that.
some, yeah, but I'm hoping she's got something really good.
It's her
Because
last mellow until the next one.
Run to the Hills was robbed. But
Tennessee Teas were my favorite in 2023. I'm very happy to see them back, and I'm not as happy to see them in a death heat because wow,
Yeah. Del
because
Tavling 4.
because he's back, guys.
Yeah, should we
I,
talk
I
about the
feel we
elephant
should
in the
touch on
room? Yeah.
he's back.
The he in this case, for those who don't know already, is Mons Zelmerlöw, who is back in Del Tavling 4. I don't know why I'm mixing Swedish and English like that, but let's just pretend I didn't. Um, so he is back with a heat which includes Andreas Lundstedt of Alcazar, who has been doing a lot of solo work recently and was recently on Solmik at Batra. Era Turtiello, who has a song written by partially by Loreen. Tennessee Tears, who Daniel's already
Who are
mentioned.
going to try their best.
The Finnish comedy guys with a song about being in a sauna. Um,
Oh, because
uh,
of course.
Kai, Kai, I forget how they're said. But yes, this their song is about going to a sauna. Um, Amina, who I am like interestingly watching Amina because I think this could be really, really good. I'm keeping a heavy eye on that one. Um, but the last entrant is of course Mons Zelmerlöw, who is returning to the contest after 10 years. Um, and he reckons he's got a Melfest winning, Eurovision winning song, effectively. Um, yeah, the song's called Revolution and is written with Ola Svensson. Is that his name? I've forgotten.
And
Ola Svensson, who, for those of you who love Mello, will know from Unstoppable in 2010, which
and
is probably one
something
of
in 2008.
and probably which is probably one of my all-time favorite Melfest songs. I'm not going to lie. So I am
And also
hoping
the best Melfest writer, David Lincoln Zacharias.
easy. I mean, I am really hoping that Mons has come back with something really special.
I don't think he would come back if he didn't.
But I haven't liked what he's put out musically in the last few years. And he's probably thought that what he's put out musically in the last few years has been pretty special. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what to expect from this song. Like, I feel very like, I mean, he said that it's a big, like, anthemic song. So I think we're getting like some level of epic from this.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I'm very conflicted. I hope it's going to be good.
And
Yeah.
I would also, I'm also looking forward to Bjorn Holmgren and Annika Holder. What about
Annika
you?
Wiki Holder, she's adorable. I'm glad she's coming back. I mean, I'm gonna give a shout out to basically half of Heat 5. I've abandoned Deltaveling for a second. Let's just ignore how inconsistent I'm being. Um, so Heat 5 is very me coded. We have Arvin Garner back, who that Arvin Garner are always fun. I don't know what to say about that apart from, um we've got Arwen, who is a kind of he has been the name has come up for me regularly. Arwen was one of the people I predicted was actually going to be in Mello this year, so I'm very happy that I actually got one prediction right because I never get predictions right. Um, he's very like Taos coded, um, very like coded to a young audience. I think he'll probably do reasonably well. I don't know that he will win or get through this year. But I think it's one of those where he'll be on the path to getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, Saga Ludvigsen has been done some very fun stuff. And of course Scarlett in that heat as well, returning after Circus X, probably the best stage song of last year in all of Mello, let's be fair. I think everybody has a moment with that song. I thought it was amazing. Um, and also like Dolly Style coming back in Delta Vinci. Like I I just like Dolly Style. It's fun. It's very me coded. Like I'm sitting here in a pink cat ear headset, and upstairs I've probably got enough like clothing to dress like a member of Dolly Style. So yeah, I'm really excited to see them come back to Mello. Although I'm not sure if it's any of the original members who were originally in Mello that are actually coming back. I've lost the plot now.
I think
Um,
one is,
is
but
it
they're a
one of
different
them?
member now.
Yeah, they're now somebody else in the band, which is
Yeah.
very confusing, but yeah,
I think they used to be like the pink or blue one, and now they're the yellow one.
they're the yellow one now, I think, or something. Well, yeah, something like that. So yeah, there's a lot of good returners. And it's good to see that they have got quite a few new acts this year. Um, there's going to be some fun from people like Schlagers that is just going to be enjoyable fun. And you can't be mad about it. It's just enjoyable fun. Um, so as always, I think there will be somebody who through the weeks just makes us all go like the way Scarlett did. But I think Scarlett are really refined, and I think they'll bring something very, they're going to bring the visuals again. So I really hope that they'll do well this year because they did not deserve to not be in the final last year.
Yeah.
Right, any other comments on the lineup?
As you said, it's a pretty good mix between newcomers and old comers,
Oldcomers.
which I think it's better than some last few years have been. I would like more songwriter diversity as always, but it's mellow. You're not going to get that.
I mean, we have got there were, I forget which song it is, but one song this year has all new songwriters to Mello. Is it? I forget which one it is. Is it Adrian Macias? All the songwriters have never written for Mello before. Yes, there are five songwriters for Adrian Macias, and all of them are new to Mello.
I hope he wins.
So that's interesting. That was a nice little tidbit. So yeah, we'll see how that one is. It's yeah, and I think there's a nice mix of English and Swedish here as well. Like we I hope we don't get to the point where we have a final again where most of the songs are in English because Sweden should send Swedish to Eurovision sooner or later. I
Could you imagine a final with all songs in English in Scandinavia in 2025?
this is a thinly veiled dig at somebody. I wonder who that could be. Wait, uh, I would like to see Sweden send something in Swedish. Um, I think Medina came so close last year
It should
to
have been
doing it.
Medina, come on.
I I I would have had a very good time if it was Medina. So yeah, I think it will be nice to see if something in Swedish does go at least to the if we have more Swedish in the final would be good. I still feel like we might not be quite at Sweden sending Swedish to Eurovision, but prove me wrong, Sweden.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, prove me wrong. Right. Do you want to have a wild speculation at who do you think is gonna take the crown?
Come
Or
on,
take the
Zermelo.
Sångfågeln? You think it's just gonna be Mars regardless?
Yeah, probably that guy who's like already won Eurovision and he's like bigging up his song massively to the point where if if it's not brilliant, he's just going to be a bit embarrassed for the next 10 years. So I don't think feel like he'd do that to himself. He's got wine to sell.
It's true, he does have wine to sell. This is not an advert. Um, I I would like to think that
But
Clara
we are open to
Hammerstrom.
them.
This is officially not an advert, but
Yes.
Moz, call this. Um, um, but yes, I'd like to think that Clara Hammerstrom has a chance as well. Um, I think this is Moz's to lose. I'd like to think Clara has a chance. I'd like to think Scarlett have a chance. I'm not a fan of John Lundvik, but I feel like
I I feel like as a country, Sweden might be starting to move past him.
I would kind of like that to be the case a little bit. Um, I
I could
He's just
see a
not to
world
my
where John
taste.
Lundvik can cues.
Unfortunately, I could also see a world where John Lundvik comes with something incredibly like sincere and absolutely comes in it. Although, it seems to be a high energy song, so we'll see. And, it is written by, Gason and Jansson and Bostrom alongside Jon Lundvik. So, yeah, we shall
It'd be
see. We shall
so
see.
funny if he NQs. So funny.
I mean, some of these artists are going to end up in Finalkval, but I mean, that week 4 and week 5,
Yeah.
I'm really hoping there is going to be some songs where it's really, I mean, this sounds horrible, but I I'm really hoping there is some clear standouts and they actually go through, rather than it being kind of just like all of the 6 songs in the last or the fourth or whatever should have gone through versus having weak weeks, which is what has happened in Melfest before. That we've had just like weeks where everything has been just kind of it was fine. And 2 songs from that have gone through to the final, and you're still like, well, this is fine. These are
Hmm.
aggressively fine. Right. Any other final points before we wrap up?
I don't think so.
Well, we shall see what happens over the next few weeks with Melodifestivalen. We are also hoping to do another video once we have all the songs, so look out for that. We will also be on the ground. There will be content coming in from interviews we're doing over Zoom, and there's also going to be hopefully a few members of the site who are going to be on the ground at Melodifestivalen as well in some of the coming weeks. So we will hopefully see loads more Melodifestivalen content
Just
coming out.
oh, there's going to be a lot.
There's going to be a
It's
lot.
it's Melfest and we're run by Tim. There's going to be a lot.
So yes, please keep an eye out for more Melodifestivalen content on the YouTube channel. So like and subscribe to get those notifications. There will be plenty more that's coming in. And obviously keep an eye on the site itself, thateurovisionsite.com. And of all our social media everywhere. So at that Eurosite on everything, and our podcast version on at that Euro podcast everywhere, wherever you get your podcasts. All that remains for me to say is thank you, Daniel, for appearing on this with me. And we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.